Hello students, I hope so everyone are good and safe. In today's topic we are going to say about American Civil War, the background and the causes. First, we're going to see what is a civil war. A civil war is fought between two sides or fractions in the same country. American Civil War was fought between Americans in the northern and southern states. America was faced with a civil war between 1861 to 1865. So, a civil war is fought between two sides or fractions in the same country. American Civil War was fought between America in North and the southern states. America was faced with the civil war between the year 1861 to 1865. So now we are going to see about background. America after 1776 was broadly divided into two halves, the northern and southern states. So after 1776 it was broadly divided into North America and a South state. The North experienced a tremendous industrial with a large number of textile factories and manufacturing industries being set up. So, North was experienced a tremendous industrial with a large number of textile factories, manufacturing industries being set up. So, imagine the North as a city. The South depended heavily on agriculture and plantations. So, the South depended heavily on agriculture and plantations. So, imagine the South as a village. Causes. The North wanted improvement in transport and communication facilities that in turn would aid in industrial growth. The South was against such changes would affect the soil's fertility adversely. So, the North wanted an improvement in transport and communication facilities that in turn would aid in industrial growth. So, if they have improvement in transport and communication, the industrial growth will be there in North. But the South was against for the such changes because they thought it would affect the soil's fertility adversely. So, the North and South clashed over the questions. The northern states preferred protective tariffs as it would make foreign goods more expensive than the locally manufactured goods. So, the rate will be higher for the foreign goods than the locally manufactured goods in northern states. The South, on the other hand, felt that such tariffs were unfair and altered at disturbing the economy of the southern states. So, the South were against the tariffs and they thought it was unfair and it would disturb the economy of the southern states. The issue of slavery was a crucial point of dissension between the North and the South, though slavery was a crucial point of dissension between the North and the South. Slaves were also used for various household works. So, the slaves were not used only for the industries and factories, but they were also used for the household works. Slaves thus became economically indispensable for the southern states. So, the slaves were economically low in the southern states. The slaves were tortured and treated like the personal property of slave owners. So they were not treated properly. They were tortured and treated like the personal property of slave owners. So it should not be encouraged. It is a very bad habit. They could be auctioned, bought, and sold at the will of their owners. So they could be auctioned, bought, and sold at the will of their owners. So the owners will react to these slaves like as they wish. They were kept in unhygienic conditions and were poorly fed. So the slaves' environment was not good. They were not treated properly, and the food they given was very poor. They were not given enough food for the works they got. Slaves were not allowed to read or write. Any read the Bible was met with cruel punishment. So the slaves were not allowed to read or write. If any one of the slave read the Bible, the punishment will be very severe. So why they do not let the slaves to read or write? Because if they let the slaves to read or write, they will start questioning against the owners, right? So that they were not allowed to read or write. Next, the northern states felt that slavery was a social injustice and should be abolished. So, the northern states felt that slavery was a social injustice and should be abolished. The abolitionist movement was led by William Lloyd Garrison. The abolitionist movement was led by William Lloyd Garrison. He founded the American Anti-Slavery Society. So, the founder of American Anti-Slavery Society is William Lloyd Garrison. As the nation grew in size, many Americans migrated westwards. As the nation grew in size, many Americans migrated westwards. So, when the population was increased, most of the Americans migrated to westwards. The westward expansion resulted in many new territories being added to the United States. So, as the Americans started migrated to moving westwards, the westward also got expansion and it resulted in many new territories being added to the United States. The South was in favor of spreading slavery to the newly acquired Western territories. The South again started to spread the slavery even in the newly acquired Western territories. The North was against the spread of slavery to the new territories. So, the Southern American people not stopped the slavery in just in South, but they even continued the slavery in newly acquired Western territories. So, for this, the North was against the spread of slavery to the new territories. So, on the left side picture, you can see they are protesting against slavery. The northern states wanted the United States to remain one. So the north side states wanted to remain one nation, but the southern states wanted individual states to be given the power to decide whether they wanted to remain with the union or separate from the union. So the south people wanted to decide whether they wanted to remain with the union or separate from the union. So this was opposed by the north. So again there is a clash between north and south. North people wanted to remain one, but the south people was not ready for that. They asking for the ownership that they has to decide whether they wanted to remain with the union or separate from the Union. So, this was happening. The literary impetus to the American Civil War was provided by the path-breaking novel of 1852, Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. So, path-breaking novel of 1852 was Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. This novel helped to create public opinion against slavery. So, Uncle Tom's Cabin novel was against slavery. So, this novel helped to create public opinion against slavery. The gulf between the northern and the southern states widened with time. So, at this time, northern and southern states was getting widened. Abraham Lincoln, who was known for his anti-slavery views, was elected the president in 1861. So, most of them would have learned about Abraham Lincoln. He was the person against slavery, and he led the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. He was elected as president in 1861. So after that, 11 southern states seceded from the Union. These states were South Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina. They established a new state called Confederate States of America. So, 11 southern states were separated from the Union. So, all these 11 states went together and they established a new state called Confederate States of America. So, after creating a new state, they also elected a new president for this new state. In our next video, we will see about the beginning of the American Civil War. So, today's homework is I want everyone to write the 11 southern states seceded from the Union. In this video, we saw the background and causes of what did we saw? American Civil War. So, thank you children for listening. Have a good day.